How's everyone? Today I'm here with yet another video today. Of course, the guys have not checked out my earlier video. If you'd like, please go ahead. It was pretty much discussing about Ryback's departure from the WWE as well as Joey Styles being released. So if you guys like to check that video out, go ahead and please do. But this video, of course, will be talking about the Stone Cold podcast that took place after Monday Night Raw tonight with special guest Dean Ambrose. I just want to give you guys my quick thoughts on this. I wasn't going to make a video discussing it after it happened, but there was something I honestly didn't want to talk about. Even though it's not really worth discussing, because I don't want to make a video solely on that, but I thought I'd just, throw some of my opinions on this overall thing, because the podcast itself was pretty interesting to say the least. I know a lot of people have a lot of mixed feelings towards it. People thought it was awkward, it was just boring, it was just a weird podcast, but I feel like it was interesting. I was entertained by it. Austin seemed mad, and Ambrose just seemed really relaxed, and there's definitely a lot of tension between the two of them because Austin was kind of asking these questions, pretty much, questioning Ambrose's dedication, I guess, as if you will, as being champion, and Ambrose kind of taking offense to it, and it was really just chilled out. Ambrose, he was being Ambrose. People looked at him, was asking if he was high during this, what the hell did he take before this? That's just him. If anyone knows this, anyone's seen his past work, he's exactly like that. With the character you get on TV, it's pretty much, he even admitted, a PG version of himself. It's a toned down, different version, different vibes, and because he can't act like his regular self on Raw or SmackDown, whatever, because he'd be too out of line, and he was out of line in this podcast. There were so many censorships throughout this podcast because of his language. He says he doesn't give a shit. And, he was very relaxed and chilled, which pissed Austin off because, Austin likes to get the scoops. He likes to get people shooting on his show. So when he's trying to, he's throwing the lure in, trying to hook him in, Ambrose was just not biting the lure. He was just going by the bait and not really taking it. And it was frustrating Austin because you can tell he's sitting there pissed off. And, Ambrose kept talking, which I like because Austin is a very impatient person. And so one thing I hate about his podcast is that he cuts off his guest a lot. And he was doing it here too, but, he was being patient some of the time, because when you're interviewing someone, you should let them finish what they're saying. Don't just cut them off and ask another question. And Ambrose wasn't having it. Ambrose just kept talking. Ambrose was giving long responses, which I like. I like more in-depth answers. I don't like quick, short answers. Even though Ambrose was getting some kind of short answers because there were some questions he didn't really want to answer, or not really didn't want to answer, but he just didn't want to really spend too much time on them, I felt like. And he kind of didn't really want to answer, but he went into detail. And then, of course, like I said, Austin was just getting impatient and mad and just trying to get him fired up. And Ambrose wasn't having his shit. Ambrose didn't care. And Ambrose just kept talking and going his pace. And he even says, he's chilled vibe. He doesn't want to ruin that vibe by getting all fired up, even though at the end of it, he was getting kind of fired up, but he calmed himself back down, which pissed Austin off because, like I said, Austin wanted to see him shoot and get fired up. But I thought this podcast was entertaining. Like I said, people thought it was weird. I thought the awkwardness and the tension between the two of them that were building was entertaining me. I was entertained. It got me more interested because, Austin's getting pissed. You don't know if these two are going to break out a fight all of a sudden. And, towards the end, you definitely felt the tension a lot because, like I said, Austin pretty much asked him. He told him, listen, you need to break the ceiling. What you're doing, you can't be complacent as champion. You got to do this and this and that. And Ambrose even said he took offense to what he was saying, which to me was like, man, these guys are just going to brawl out, start fighting. And Austin challenged them to go out there and just break the glass ceiling, be out there and be sketchy. But it's just like at the same time you realize Ambrose can't do that in this day and age. You can't be like Austin did, where Austin pretty much said fuck all the rules and did his own thing. Ambrose can't do that. And Ambrose even said a big thing that calmed him down was the realization that he's a role model now. He's an inspiration to people, and people, want to be like him, or people look up to him. That's the reason why he's kind of toned down character as well. He's not, all reached out like he was back in the Indies, and even back when he first got brought into the WWE. He can't be all out like that anymore. He has to set an example for people and kids and anyone that looks up to him. So that's the responsibility as a champion, and that's why he's not as outgoing. Jesus, I can't say that for some reason, as he'd like to be, or people want him to be. And he did cut a promo on Austin. Austin, told him to do an impromptu promo. He did a John Moxley promo, which I really liked. So that was great. And the one thing I want to talk about was the Brock Lesnar match at WrestleMania. Dean Ambrose admitted the reason why the match was the way it was because Brock Lesnar didn't want to do anything. He said he went in that match pissed off because he tried so hard to make this match exactly what the fans wanted. Going to that match, we all thought they were going to kill each other, have tons of weapons, tons of spots. Everyone thought it was going to be a crazy-ass match. And to me, I honestly still think the match is really good. I think people shit on it a lot more than they should. I understand why people were mad. People were just disappointed because it wasn't, as hyped as everyone thought the match was going to be going into it. And so I understand the hate. But I mean, the match is good in itself. Still, if you watch it just as itself, it's a good match. But he said Brock was just lazy. Brock didn't want to do anything in this match, which is a huge letdown because he was explaining how he really wanted to go out and just put on this classic crazy fight, and Brock was just not having it. Brock didn't want to do shit, and that's why the match ended up being the way it was. It wasn't nearly as a fight as everyone thought it was going to be. So that was a big reason why the match was a huge disappointment. Again, I still think the match is a good match. It's a pretty damn good match. It just wasn't as nearly as amazing as it should have been. It should have been a fucking classic match of the year candidate, but it wasn't because Brock's laziness. So yeah, that's very unfortunate. Maybe one day they can get a rematch on the line where Brock actually cares. Who knows? But all in all, I was entertained. I thought it was a fun podcast. I was interested in what was going on. I can see the views of people not liking it. I thought Ambrose was getting some good information. He actually had a lot of similar qualities to myself. Not, of course, the shoplifting, dropping out of school because I graduated and I don't shoplift because why would I? I don't need to steal anything really. But, a lot of similarities in terms of wrestling. You talk about how the older he got, the more obsessive he got with wrestling, and that's kind of in my case, to be perfectly honest. The older I get, still, I feel like I'm getting more obsessed. I think I'm calming down a little bit, but mainly more towards the end of my teenage years. I felt like I was getting more obsessive with wrestling. So there's a lot of levels I can relate with Ambrose on this podcast. So I thought it was a good, enjoyable podcast. I was interested. I liked it. I can see how people didn't like it, but my personal opinion of it, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought Ambrose's craziness was the selling point because it was different. It's something that you don't really see people do, and he was being perfectly honest and he didn't care. And that's all you can ask about these podcasts. People are just being real, not really caring, just going with it. So that's my video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you guys watched the podcast, please comment below. Leave your guys' thoughts on the podcast yourself. If you'd like, leave your guys' thoughts on this video in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching the video.